My dear brothers and sisters, my beloved friends, have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life, your heart a tangled knot of hope and fear, and whispered into the silence, "Ya Allah, are you with me? Am I on the right path?" In those moments of uncertainty, it can feel like we're walking in the dark, desperately searching for a sign, a flicker of light to confirm we're not lost. But what if I told you that the guidance you seek is not a distant future event? What if I told you that Allah's divine guidance, this *Al-Huda**, is actively unfolding in your life, right now*? The Quran reminds us that Allah is closer to us than our jugular vein. His guidance is not always a thunderous revelation. More often, it is a gentle, persistent whisper in the chambers of your heart and the events of your life. So, lean in and listen closely. Here are 6 clear signs that Allah is guiding you right here, right now. You prayed for it. You made dua with a heart full of hope, your palms facing the sky, pouring out your most sincere desires. You envisioned the path ahead, a straight line from your supplication to its answer. You could almost see it, feel it, taste the sweetness of that acceptance. You applied for that job, you pursued that relationship, you invested in that opportunity with every ounce of your iman, trusting that because your intention was good, the outcome would be too. Then the response came, not with a triumphant yes, but with a resounding echoing and what felt like a final no. The door didn't just close, it slammed shut, and you heard the lock turn from the other side. In that moment, the world doesn't just feel still, it feels hollow. The sweetness of hope curdles into the bitterness of disappointment. The whispers of Shaitan begin their familiar corrosive work. Where is your Allah now? Did he not hear you? Your faith was not enough. You are not enough. It is in this precise crucible of disappointment that one of the most profound and yet most misunderstood signs of Allah's guidance manifests. We are finite beings trapped in the linear progression of time. We see our lives as a single, straight road, and we assume that a closed door means the journey is over, that we have reached a dead end. We operate with the limited vision that the Quran so eloquently describes, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows. And you do not know. Our knowledge is confined to the present moment and the fragmented pieces of our past. We cannot see the intricate tapestry Allah is weaving, where every dark thread of disappointment is essential to the brilliance of the final pattern. Allah's knowledge, in contrast, is all-encompassing. It is not linear but holistic. He sees the end from the beginning and every branching path in between. When he, as Al-Fatih the opener, decides to close a door, it is never an act of rejection or punishment for a sincere dua. It is an act of profound mercy and protection. Imagine a child desperate to play with a sharp, gleaming knife, convinced it is the most beautiful toy. The parent, seeing the hidden danger the child cannot comprehend, swiftly takes it away. The child wails, believing they have been denied something wonderful. The parent, however, has acted out of pure love, preventing a catastrophe. On a scale infinitely more complex and wise, this is what Allah does for us. That job you didn't get might have led you into an environment that would have slowly eroded your faith, surrounded you with temptation, and consumed your time so completely that you abandoned your prayers. That relationship you longed for might have been a beautiful facade hiding a soul, deep incompatibility that would have brought a lifetime of emotional and spiritual anguish. That investment might have been a trap that led to financial ruin and despair. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, closed that door not to hurt you, but to save you. He saw the cliff at the end of that path that you, in your limited vision, mistook for a meadow. Your duh was answered not with the yes you demanded, but with the something better that you in that moment of pain could not possibly conceive. This is the essence of divine redirection. It is the universe's most compassionate detour. The feeling of loss is real, and it is valid. Islam does not ask us to be emotionless robots. The Prophet Yaqub has felt such profound grief for his son Yusuf that he lost his sight, but his grief was tethered to a deeper, unshakable faith. He never declared that Allah had abandoned him. He turned to Allah even in his sorrow, and his faith was ultimately rewarded with a reunion far more beautiful than he could have imagined. The true test and the true sign of guidance is what happens in the aftermath of that closed door. Do you stand there, pounding on the sealed entrance, wasting your energy and spirit on what is now the past? Or do you, with a heart heavy but still trusting, turn around? It is in that turning around that the miracle unfolds. As you lift your eyes from the closed door, your gaze is forced to sweep the horizon, and there, where you had never thought to look before, you see it, another door. It might be smaller, less ornate, tucked away in a quiet corner. It doesn't demand attention like the first one did. It simply waits. This is the door Allah has opened for you. This is the path of your true provision, your *rizq*, which encompasses not just wealth, but peace, spiritual growth, and well-being. This new opening is a direct manifestation of Allah's name, Ar-Razak, the ultimate provider. He provided for you not by giving you what you asked for, but by guiding you to what you truly needed. The journey to this new door often requires humility and a surrender of our own stubborn plans. It requires the tawakkul, the absolute trust, that the one who created you, who sustains you every second, who knows the secrets of your heart, would never neglect you. Your initial duh was never ignored. It was answered with a divine intervention that rerouted you from harm and towards a goodness that perfectly aligns with your soul's destiny. So, the next time a door closes and the familiar ache of disappointment begins to rise, pause. Remember this sign. Take a deep breath and affirm your faith. Say, Alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal, all praise is to Allah in every situation. Acknowledge that your vision is limited, but your Lord's is perfect. Trust that the closure is not the end of the story, but a crucial plot twist written by the most wise author. The guidance is present in the very act of the door closing, a forceful, loving hand steering you back onto your true path. Your story is not over. It is simply being corrected, and a new, more beautiful chapter is waiting for you to take the first step of trust towards its open, welcoming door. There is a quiet inner revolution that begins not with a fanfare, but with a subtle, persistent unease. It starts almost imperceptibly. You are engaged in an act that was once a normal, even enjoyable, part of your daily life. Perhaps it is the music you are listening to, the same playlist that used to pump you up for the day. But now, beneath the beat, you detect a lyric that feels like a stain, a message that grates against a newly awakened part of your conscience. The volume, once a source of energy, now feels like an intrusion. Or maybe you are in a familiar social circle, and the conversation, as it often does, turns to gossip. The words are flowing, the laughter is easy, and you are about to add your own piece of hearsay when you feel it. A slight tightening in your chest, a quiet voice of dissent that makes the words catch in your throat. The laughter around you suddenly feels hollow. The criticism of an absent friend feels like a betrayal you are now complicit in. This is not a dramatic, thunderous prohibition from the heavens. It is a whisper, a gentle but firm pressure on your soul, a feeling that the person you are becoming can no longer coexist peacefully with the act you are doing. This growing discomfort with sin is one of the most profound and personal signs that Allah is guiding you. It is a divine gift, often misunderstood as a loss of enjoyment or a restriction on one's freedom. In reality, it is the exact opposite. It is the manifestation of Allah's name, Al-Mu'min, the infuser of faith, and it represents the awakening of your spiritual immune system. To understand this, we must reflect on the nature of the human soul, the asterisk nafs asterisk. In its raw, untended state, the nafs is inclined towards lower desires, towards immediate gratification, towards that which is easy and pleasurable in the moment, regardless of its long spiritual consequences. Sin, by its very nature, is a poison to the soul. But a soul that is not yet awakened does not recognize the poison. It mistakes it for nourishment. It consumes the gossip, the backbiting, the haram entertainment, the neglect of prayer, and feels no immediate pain. The poison accumulates slowly, dimming the inner light, hardening the heart, and creating a distance between the individual and their creator without them even realizing it. When you begin to feel a visceral discomfort with these actions, it is a definitive sign that the light of Iman has been ignited within your heart. This light acts as an alarm system. It allows you to see the poison for what it is. The music feels heavy because your soul now recognizes the spiritual toxins within it. The gossip leaves a bitter taste because your conscience now understands it as a violation of another believer's honor. The haram environment no longer brings peace because your spirit now craves the purity of divine remembrance. This is not you depriving yourself. This is Allah protecting you. Imagine a child who loves to play in the mud. They see no harm in it. To them it is pure fun. But as they grow and learn about hygiene and health, the same mud becomes unappealing. They now understand the hidden dirt and germs. The mud itself hasn't changed, the child's perception has. Similarly, your sins haven't changed their inherent nature. Your soul's capacity to perceive their true, corrosive nature has been elevated by Allah's grace. This process is the practical manifestation of the Quranic verse that describes the effect of true guidance. O you who have believed, fear Allah and believe in His Messenger. He will then give you a double portion of His mercy and make for you a light by which you will walk. The discomfort you feel is that light beginning to shine, illuminating the pitfalls and traps on your path that you once walked in darkness. It is the most tangible evidence that your du'as for a stronger faith are being answered. You asked Allah to bring you closer to Him, and He is doing so by making you allergic to that which pushes you away. This is a divine surgery of the heart. It is not always a pleasant process. The extraction of a spiritual malady can be painful. Letting go of old habits, distancing oneself from familiar but toxic environments, and rewiring one's desires is a struggle. It is the greater jihad. There will be moments of weakness, where the old, comfortable numbness of sin seems more appealing than the sharp, conscious clarity of obedience. But this very struggle is a sign of life. A dead heart feels nothing. A heart that is being guided by Allah feels the conflict intensely, for it is now a battlefield between the pull of the lower self and the call of the divine. Therefore, never despair this feeling of unease. Do not misinterpret it. Consider the quiet moments of your day, the spaces between your planned activities and conscious thoughts. You are going about the mundane rhythm of your life, perhaps driving or washing dishes, or sitting in a moment of stillness before the next task demands your attention. Then, without any warning or logical progression, it arrives. It is not a loud command, but a gentle, persistent nudge in the landscape of your mind. It is an image of yourself rising in the deep, silent hours of the night to stand in prayer. It is a sudden, vivid thought of a person in need, accompanied by an undeniable urge to give, to help secretly. It is a feeling of dryness in your soul that can only be quenched by opening the Quran and reading, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine, aching thirst for its words. This impulse is clean, clear, and feels entirely foreign to your usual train of thought. It carries with it a quality of peace, a rightness that your own internal debates rarely possess. This unexpected pull towards goodness, this sudden spiritual impulse, is far more than a random neuron firing or a fleeting moment of inspiration. It is one of the most intimate and direct signs of Allah's guidance, a phenomenon deeply rooted in the Islamic tradition. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, provided the key to understanding this experience when he said, as narrated in Sahih Muslim, "There is no soul that has not been commissioned by an angel and a devil. The angels," he explained, "inspire the soul with goodness and truth, while the devils inspire it with evil and falsehood." This sudden pull you feel towards tahajjud, towards charity, towards the Quran, is the whisper of your angel, empowered and directed by the command of Allah. It is a ***, a divine inspiration placed directly upon your heart. To appreciate the majesty of this, we must understand the constant, unseen battle being waged for the territory of your soul. Your nafs or lower self has its own desires, and the shaitan is perpetually present, as the Quran confirms, whispering into the breasts of mankind. His mission is to divert you, to make falsehood appealing, to encourage procrastination in worship, and to sow doubt. His whispers are often characterized by fear, anxiety, delay, and a focus on the self. He will tell you that you are too tired for tahajjud, that your charity is too small to matter, that you can read the Quran later. The divine impulse, in stark contrast, feels liberating and uplifting. It carries a quality of urgency, but not anxiety, a gentle urgency that says, "Do it now, for this moment is a gift." It focuses not on your own fatigue, but on the opportunity to connect with the divine. This is how you can begin to distinguish the source of the thoughts that cross your heart. When this divine impulse arrives, it is a personal invitation from Allah al-Wadud, the most loving. It is a sign that He is looking upon you with mercy and favor in that very moment. Think of it as a gardener tending to a plant. The plant does not will itself to grow. The gardener provides the water and the sunlight at the precise moments needed for its flourishing. In the same way, your soul does not, on its own power, generate this pure desire for obedience. It is Allah who is watering your soul with this impulse, providing the spiritual sunlight that inclines it towards growth. You may have been feeling distant, your prayers may have felt routine, your heart may have felt a little numb. And then this impulse comes. This is Allah throwing you a lifeline, pulling you back towards Him without you even having to articulate the plea for help. It is His way of saying, "I have not forgotten you, come back to me, here is an open door, walk through it." The critical test, and the point where this guidance is either accepted or neglected, lies in your immediate response. The Shaitan's first strategy is to prevent the good thought from ever entering your mind. If he fails in that, his next tactic is to convince you to ignore it or delay it. "You can do it tomorrow," he whispers. "You're not worthy enough to stand before Allah in the night. That small amount of charity won't make a difference." To surrender to this guidance, therefore, requires an act of immediate submission. It requires you to act upon the impulse before the moment passes and the whisper of doubt settles in. The scholars of the heart have always advised to be swift in doing good when the inclination arises, for it is a precious and fleeting mercy. When you feel that pull to make dua, do it immediately. When you think of giving charity, do it without overanalyzing the amount. When the image of you praying tahajjud comes to mind, set the intention and prepare your alarm. This immediate action is like catching a divine wave. It carries you effortlessly towards a state of closeness, you could not have achieved through your own striving alone. This is the hidden mechanics of spiritual growth. Your journey is not a straight, upward line forged solely by your own willpower. It is a path illuminated by these sudden flashes of divine light, these gentle tugs on your heart. Each time you answer the call, you strengthen the connection. You make it easier for your soul to receive the next impulse, and you weaken the voice that tells you to delay. The impulse to do good becomes a self-free, enforcing spiral of guidance. So, the next time you feel that unexpected, peaceful urge to perform an act of worship, recognize it for the miracle that it is. It is not your own idea. It is a personalized message from your Lord, a direct deposit of spiritual energy into your account. Do not let it pass you by. Seize it, act upon it. For in that moment, you are not walking towards Allah. He is pulling you towards Him with a love and a mercy that is actively, intimately, and miraculously guiding you right now.